Hello, my friends. So often you will hear me say to people, just be yourself. Bring your authentic self to the table. And that's great. It's always good when we can just be real, be who we are and how we are, and not have to worry about people judging us. Because being yourself is important, and it's what makes you uniquely you. And that is something to be celebrated. But let's always remember to put our best foot forward, to be our best version of our authentic self. That's really important because so often you hear people, they'll bring a lot of negative energy or negative self talk, even. They may say, is just, well, that's just how I am because that's just part of my personality. I don't mean anything by it. And what I would like to say to you about that is that actually is not part of our or who we actually are authentically. That's who we were socialized into, and there is a difference. That has more to do with our ego self. And our ego is separate from who we are actually on the inside. What's at the core of who we are as a human being. I mean, our ego is basically insecure. And when we're feeling insecure, we say and do things that aren't in alignment with what it is that we really oftentimes want to say and do. We have a fear of putting ourselves out there and allowing us to be seen fully. And so we put these walls up, and they often come out in language or in actions that don't really represent what it is we really want, but come from a place of insecurity. It's great to be authentic. I celebrate that. I'm a big person who is constantly, I'm not a big person, but I'm a person who is really big on living in your uniqueness and celebrating that. However, always strive to be your best self. Don't just put anything out there and just use the excuse that, well, that's just how I am. Not okay. Put your best foot forward at all times. Deepak Chopra always says, everyone is doing the best they can for whatever state of consciousness they're in. So raise your consciousness and be aware of what you're saying, how you're saying it, how you move in the world. You do have some control over that. And it's not enough to just say, well, that's just how I am. I'm rude. That's not part of being authentic. That's being irresponsible and not accountable. Your authentic self wants the best for you. Allow yourself to be fully accountable for the words that you say, the energy that you bring to every situation and every interaction. And it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. None of us is perfect. Certainly I'm not perfect. But be accountable. Be accountable, be real, be vulnerable, and don't allow yourself to be enslaved by and controlled by your ego, because your ego is always going to send you down a path that is not a path you really want to go down. It seems like it feels good on the way down there, but when you hit rock bottom and you realize what's happening, you want to turn things around. So my best advice to you, living in your uniqueness and celebrating that, is be real, but be accountable. And always, always, always put your best foot forward. When you do that, you feel better about yourself. Even when you miss it, even when you make mistakes, even when you go back and think, I could have said or done that differently. But you feel better about yourself because just like that quote by Deepak, you feel like, I did the best that I could do for where I was at that time. And there are always lessons to be learned. And as long as we're living in awareness, we can learn those lessons and we can take the experiences that we've been a part of and use that knowledge to do things differently moving forward, or do things better, to be a better version of ourselves. We're always, as long as we have breath, we have an opportunity to do things differently. Always strive to be your best self. One really important point to bring up before I close. Be careful with other people in your life. Don't let them shame you about the way that maybe you handled something in the past, and then allow that to be a self-defeating prophecy about, well, I guess that's just how I am. I'll never change. Other people may say that to you, but that's not the truth. It's only the truth if you see that as truth. If you believe that, then that will be your truth. But you have to know that other people can't control you any more than you would allow them to. So if you made some mistakes in your past, or you had some situations where you just didn't handle things the way that you would handle them now, just own it and move forward. You can do that. And when you do that, you really are putting your best foot forward, your authentic self. And that is definitely something to celebrate.